the work happened over several months. So as I was saying, it's a two-tiered process. I work on the rolls for several months, and then I come into the gallery with my materials and with a basic sense of what I'm doing. But I really like to respond to a space and kind of allow my time in the space to dictate what happens with the work, where it goes. And so I really didn't know the format, but I knew that I had the materials, I had the cardboard that I wanted to work with, and the length of the space. So with this particular space, it was a challenge because most of my work in the past is very fixed and concise and packed. So with this, I wanted to actually kind of tear it apart and allow some holes to exist. And for me, that's exciting because it means that I can hopefully start to see my work differently. That I've been doing this form of installation for several years, for quite a few years actually, and so I want to see where I can take it. And to me, that doesn't necessarily happen in the studio. It happens in the gallery, and the gallery becomes a studio for me. And it's unnerving and difficult and makes me very nervous. But to me, it's like a problem that needs to be solved, and I like that arc that you get to a point where you start to see a resolution, and there's an adrenaline rush, and so there you go. And to me, the work is very much about making and the process of accumulating and what we do with what we accumulate. At the same time, it's a minimalist piece. I'm not trying to discuss our commodity-based culture, or though I work within it, and I recognize that I'm working with materials and a vocabulary that speaks of that. But I'm thinking about the gallery or the studio as a laboratory, and what happens when you allow certain things to exist over a period of time. There's a sense of growth and development, and so I like to see where a material can be taken. Where something as simple as an office material, a piece of paper, can become something perhaps sublime or unusual. Referencing the title, Candy Floss Pink, I'm very drawn to colors that we often use let's see well, I use a various. I've used everything from simple white sheets of paper to neon colored office paper, and as a non-painter, as a sculptor, I like to use materials for what they are inherently, and so I try to push the envelope by using different color, and think about something. I wanted to with the pink. I wanted to take something that was quite a girly, festive color and see if I can actually play with it and bring it into maybe a little bit of the macabre. And so this idea of candy floss is a very fun, childhood invoking substance. But I wanted to see how if I could push its comfort into something other than that. I think of my work as landscapes, whether or not they actually invoke a particular landscape, which they don't. I think of the accumulation of data and how that becomes a visual representation of information. And to me, again, it's very much responding to a site and to a material. So it's not a visual representation of a specific organization of data or of a specific landscape.
Go, let's have this